All right, you guys, I'm back for lesson number 2 for math this week, and we have some more story problems to do today, just like yesterday. So I need you to make sure you have a whiteboard or some paper to write on so that you can solve these problems with me. Mia has 5 pennies. Mia has 2 more pennies than Kim. How many pennies does Kim have? So just like yesterday, we need to think about what information we know and what information we're trying to find out. So right now we know that Mia has 5 pennies. So I'm going to write Mia here. And Mia has 5 pennies. So I'm going to bring these pennies over here. Okay. Then our second sentence here says Mia has 2 more pennies than Kim. Okay, this is the opposite of what we did yesterday. Okay, this time Mia has 2 more than Kim, which means I need to take away 2 pennies to figure out how many Kim has. So if I take away 2 pennies from Mia's pennies, that equals 3. Kim has 3 pennies because 5 minus 2 equals 3. Okay, let's try the second problem. Max has 4 pennies. Max has 3 more pennies than Sam. How many pennies does Sam have? Okay, let's set up our board. I'm going to make one side for Max and one side for Sam. Okay, you do the same. Now go ahead and draw 4 pennies on Max's side because we know that Max has 4 pennies. This time I'm just going to draw them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we don't know how many Sam has yet. That's what we're trying to figure out. Let's read the next sentence to figure out what other information we have. Max has 3 more pennies than Sam. So again, we have to think. That means Max has more and Sam has less. Max has 3 more than Sam. So if I take away 3 of Max's, that means Sam only has 1 penny. 4 minus 3 equals 1. Sam has 1 penny. For the next part of our lesson, we're going to talk about some of the work that you did in your book yesterday, where you had to figure out how many hands were in different groups of people. And we worked on one part of that together yesterday, and then I think that you had to figure out how many hands you had if you counted the people's hands in your house. So today I'm going to show you another strategy that can help you answer those kinds of questions. So this is called a table that we have set up here, and you can use a table to count things in groups. So let's say that I just had one person and I wanted to know how many hands one person has. That's easy. One person has 2 hands. Okay. Now what if I add another person? If I have 2 people, then I have to add another set of hands. 2 plus 2 is 4. Then if I have 3 people, I'm going to add 2 again. 2, 4, 6. Do you notice the pattern? Each time I add a person, the number of hands gets bigger by 1. Can you figure out how many hands 5 people would have? That's right, 5 people would have 10 hands. How about 6 people? Add 2 more. 6 people would have 12 hands. Okay. This is another strategy that you can use when you're trying to count in groups. So the next part of our lesson, you guys, is one of the book pages that you have today, which is on page 293, and you're going to be solving problems about how many fingers. So yesterday you guys worked on counting how many hands different groups of people have, but now you're going to count how many fingers different hands would have. And think about how many fingers are on a hand. Right? 5. So yesterday you were counting by 2s. Today you're going to be counting in 5s. Okay? So you can use yesterday's strategy, drawing a picture. How many fingers are there on 4 hands? So if you wanted to do that, here's what I would do. I would draw 4 circles to represent my hands. And I know that each hand has 5 fingers. If you don't know how to count by 5s, you might need to draw all 5 fingers on here and count them. If you know how to count by 5s, then I would just write the number 5 in each of the circles that represent your hands, and you can count them. Let's try it together. 5, 10, 15, 20. There would be 20 fingers on 4 hands. Okay, drawing a picture is one way to solve these kinds of problems. I'm also going to show you how you could use a table, just like I showed you in the earlier part of this lesson. So let's go back. Okay, so here I have another table, just like I did with people and hands, but this one's with hands and fingers. So I know that if I have 1 hand, I have 5 fingers. I know that if I have 2 hands, I have 10 fingers. How many fingers would 3 hands have, you guys? 5, 10. That's right, 15. Do you see the pattern? Each time I add a hand, I'm adding 5 to my fingers. You might use this strategy to do your workbook pages today. In addition to your workbook pages in your math book, there is an online activity called Toes on Sloth. This is a challenge, you guys. So this is an optional exercise that you might do. I think that you'd have to download and print it, or you could just read it from here and do it on your whiteboard if you need an extra challenge. So this is about sloths, which are rainforest animals. The 3-toed sloth is an animal that has 4 feet. The animal has 3 claws on each foot. So your challenge problems are to figure out how many claws does one 3-toed sloth have? 3 claws for each foot, and he has 4 feet. How many claws do 6 3-toed sloths have in all? Okay, so if you're ready for a challenge, try that out, but do your regular pages first, and then if you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and try this one. I believe this is the same video that was in yesterday's lesson, so you could watch that again. And then you're going to do pages 293 and 294 in your book today. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.